What's up, y'all? Sparta here. Um, so for this, I guess what I want to do is, I guess, talk about I don't even know, but this is more of a podcast type thing, and I guess what I'm going to start off by doing is talking about my thoughts on the S21s. And apologies, I just moved my phone. That's why you heard a little bit of ruffling. But let me do a couple things here. Let me, one, completely silence my phone. If it'll let me. Screw it. I'll just put that one down there. Okay, so S21s. My initial thoughts. As you guys can clearly see, this is a different kind of video. I'm going to be just having gameplay, and then I'm going to be talking. So just trying something different for a couple of different reasons, just so I don't have to have so much space in between videos. But here we go. S21 and 21 Plus. First of all three phones are going to have Snapdragon 888s. The S21 and 21 Plus are just going to have 8 gigabytes of RAM, up to 256 gigs of internal storage. Both are just going to have 1080p 120 hertz dynamic refresh rate displays, 6.2 and 6.7 inch displays, which is, in terms of screen size, I feel that's totally fine. I don't really have any issue with the screen size of the phones. To me, that's it's pretty much in line with what they've been doing, so it's whatever. Colors, for whatever reason, you get pretty much. I always forget this, so I'm gonna look at the website again. But let me go to Samsung.com. So I can look at this here. S21, S21 Plus. Pre-order now, just so I can see these. Okay, so the color options on the regular S21 are Phantom Gray, White, Violet, and Pink. On the S21 Plus, Phantom Violet, Black, Silver, Gold, and Red. So you just get, and with the S21 Ultra, you basically just get dark colors. You get Phantom Black, Silver, Titanium, Navy, and Brown. Note, I just say Phantom once because all of each color option has Phantom as the first word, so that's why I just say Phantom and then I just say the color. So yeah, you get different color options there. Only 256 gigs is the maximum storage. None of the phones have SD card slots, not even the Ultra, which is stupid, but whatever. Yeah, in terms of stuff like that, I feel it's people are going to spend, you get up to 512 gigabytes in the S21 Ultra. Why do you need an SD card? Because yet again, like I've said before, I don't like to put all of my stuff on a phone. And who knows, if I go to a phone that isn't a Samsung phone or a phone that doesn't have 512 gigabytes in internal storage, and then I decide to, copy the data over, all of the data won't fit on the phone. So That is something to me that is a stupid point. If you use that point as if you use that point just to say that there's just no reason to have an SD card anymore, you're just coping with the fact that Samsung is taking more features away from you, but charging more money for those. We're charging for more money for less features. Like, don't get me started on that. Like, these phones sure cost a little bit less, or maybe cost as much as the S20s did last year. But there are reasons why I feel these phones are kind of whack, especially in comparison with last year's S20s, with the S20s of last year. And I'm going to get into that here real quick. So, like I said, S20s, I'm going to look at the sighting end because I actually want to see. Because what was really weird, and I've heard some people say that the S21 Plus, or at least one of them are just made out of polycarb. So I'm gonna look here real quick just to see, because all they really talked about was like the front glass. I don't care about the colors. Yeah, it's not giving me. I'm gonna just look it up like this: Galaxy S21 glass back. Oh, it is. The S21 at least is made of just plastic or polycarb, which, here's the thing, I don't personally care. I really like the feel of like the S20 FE. I've been using that phone ever since I've had it, and I really don't have any problem with polycarbonate. But I'm really tired of Samsung calling stuff glastic. Just call it polycarbonate, dude. Like, it's so stupid to try to make something sound fancy, make something sound cute, and like make it sound less shitty. But people already have a sort of history with Samsung and shitty plastic. So quit saying that, oh, it's glastic. It's plastic that we make look like glass. It's stop. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I can't tell if the S21 Plus is made of that kind of material, but the Ultra is made of glass, as you should expect. So that's just something that is cool, I guess, if you care. Again, I don't care. I'd much rather would have polycarbonate because it's, more durable. But whatever. In terms of, say, like I said, up to 256 gigs of internal storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM is all you can really get on the S21 and 21 Plus. And on the Ultra, you get up to 512 gigs with 18 gig. Was it 18 gig? It was not 18. It was 16, I think. It was 16 gigabytes of RAM. And yeah, this is very much akin to what they did with the Note 20s, where the base Note 20 was this hyper gimped version, right? And it was this hyper gimped version, and the Note 20 Ultra was the big booty one that you should go for. And to me, that was just something that I feel is so whack because they're making you pay all of this money for a phone that doesn't do more than the last year's phone, really. It really doesn't. Like, they have the same cameras, they're just adding new features. They're adding more software features that they can definitely add to last year's phone. And you can't tell me, oh, the Snapdragon 865 can't do triple cameras, 4K 60. There are phones that have done it on the 855. The problem is a lot of a lot of manufacturers are sitting here and cheapening out on like certain camera lenses for like the wide angle or the telephoto, to where they're using wide angles that can't do 4K 60. So that's just something that just doesn't happen on the wide angle. The G8, for example, and you guys obviously won't be able to see it, but I'm gonna do it right now. That's I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to 4K 60, steady record on, all that stuff on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press record. Oh, I can't just zoom out, huh? I could have sworn I was able to. Well, whatever. But what I can do is I can zoom out after the fact, and I can record in 4K 60 on the wide angle. And there's no real problem. It's smooth. It's nice and clean. There's really no issue with it. And to me, this is something that's very emblematic of what I feel is becoming the problem with phones, is that they're finding more ways to fleece you because they're making less money, right? And the Galaxy S line, while it does make a lot of money, it is not really their money maker anymore. The Galaxy A series is their money maker. It's kind of what is like LG, right? Their Stilos and their lower end phones tend to be the ones that actually make them money. The G series didn't make them money, sadly. The V series doesn't really make them money, even though they kept it around longer. It's just to me, what I feel, and by the way, this is me slagging LG. I'm using the V60 to record this, but to me, what this really rings, what this shows me, is that Samsung is more trying to be Apple than they are trying to differentiate themselves from Apple. Slowly, what they've been putting out these past few months, from like the Galaxy Buds Pro to this line here, to where they're gimping phones for no reason. And if you want me to go down the specs list of what has been gimped and what's basically stayed the same, I'm gonna do that now. S20 to S21, you lose Quad HD. You get the same size battery. You get a variable refresh rate rather than a constant refresh rate. You get the same cameras, like I said. Design is subjective. I don't know if you prefer the design of the S20 or the S21. That's totally up to you. There really isn't much that I would think is, obviously you get Snapdragon 888, but honestly, the benefits of that are like battery life and security, I guess, but that's pretty much it. It's not really a huge performance bump, which I guess is good, because the Snapdragon 865 is still a blazing fast chip. So if it performs even slightly better than that, fine. S21 to S20 Plus to S21 Plus. Again, you lose Quad HD. You lose the constant refresh rate. You get the same cameras. The only thing that's upgraded is the battery. You go from 4,500 to 4,800. And again, processor, and that's pretty much it. um, S20 Ultra to S21 Ultra. What you lose 45-watt charging. You keep the Quad HD display. You gain the ability to go up to 120 hertz, but it's variable refresh rate at Quad HD. Like, you gain a laser autofocus for better focusing with the 108 megapixel lens sensor. You lose 45-watt charging, fast charging, and it goes down to 25, which to me personally, I think that's ample and fast enough, especially for a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I don't really have any problems with the V60 with that power wattage. They pretty much halved stuff like they cut down the wireless charging, they cut down the reverse wireless charging, which to me is just better for the battery. But if you care about that stuff, you lose. Those numbers got Thanos too, so that's just something to keep in mind. Again, design is totally subjective. I personally don't mind the design of the S21 Ultra. Again, you get the metal casing around the camera rather than some shitty glass that'll just shatter. So hopefully that'll help with keeping the camera durable, nice, and not messed up like a lot of S20 cameras, Ultra cameras got, where they would just get shattered randomly. So hopefully that will help. And all three of them just have the metal casing around the camera sensors. So that's just something that's really cool to me personally. But if you don't like that, then that's just something you're going to have to deal with. I do like the Phantom Black color as well. I do think it looks really nice. It honestly almost enticed me to just give up my S20 FE just for that color. I know that's very minimal and stuff like that. It's kind of stupid, but it's a nice looking color, okay? Because here's the thing: what happens to me when I look at like color options for phones, I tend to think about what wallpapers I want to put on the phone and stuff like that, and that just kind of gets me. But I really do wish the Ultra had a red color, very much like the FE, because I just think it's very nice. I like the red color on this, and ultimately I feel like I'm just going to keep it. So there we go with that. Honestly, what gets me with this is not the fact that they took features away. That's one thing. It's the fact that they take these features. Oh, and another thing, the phone doesn't come with a charger in the box. So you can so they sit here and they berate Apple and they tease Apple for taking chargers out of their boxes, but they do the exact same thing. Not even a phone generation later. So yeah, you couldn't even wait till like I know it's most likely not gonna be a Note 21, but oh yeah, speaking of Note, the S Pen that you get that has S Pen support. I'm sorry, I didn't even sleep yet, but the only phone out of these that have S Pen support are the Ultra. So if you want Quad HD at 120 hertz, variable refresh rate, as I said, a 5,000 milliamp hour battery and all that stuff too, a 108 megapixel sensor with 100x space zoom that really doesn't look all that great. As much as they want to sit here and say, oh, we made it look better with software and hardware, but it really doesn't look all that good to me personally, but it's whatever. And of course, the moment I put this up here, people start messaging me. So let me do this here. Um, I totally forgot. I totally forgot. Um, so, yeah, I totally blanked. My bad. um, is it really this early and people are doing some sirens going off? Jesus. Ultimately, what I feel this comes down to is, oh yeah, they got the gall to shit on Apple, but then they do the same thing that Apple did, which is take the charger out the box. I don't even think they had any sort of heartfelt message as to, oh, we're doing it for the environment. They're just doing it because Apple did it. So I hope to God other manufacturers don't follow this trend. Like I hope, like LG in particular, I hope LG doesn't follow it, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Um, to me, there's something that is very interesting about how Samsung is handling these these phones, right? Where they're not really that much of an upgrade, especially if you have an S20. Any of the S20s isn't really an upgrade. If you have a Note 10 or something like that, I would say this is an upgrade. Um, because a homie at work, he has a Note 10 Plus and he's going to the S20 Ultra. And what Samsung always does is they have this super mega big booty deal that you trade in your phone, you get $500 off the new phone, and that's what they're doing, right? And that's honestly what kind of enticed me before. And I might do it. I don't know yet, mainly because I just want a bigger phone. I love the S20 FE, but it's just too small for me personally. And I want a phone that will be as big. Oh yeah, the S21 Ultra is has a 6.8 inch display. I think the V60 has a 6.9 inch display, but it's either 6.8 or 6.9. So big phones here, huh? Yeah, ultimately, this is something that I feel. Apologies. Let me lower the gain a little bit. Let me lower the gain a little bit. Okay, there we go. Um, to me, I don't really know how I feel anymore. I'm starting to get like nonplussed on phones, in particular from Samsung, mainly because every time I feel like they put out a good phone, there are compromises. The S20 FE has quite a few compromises, and I just got Android 11 on my S20 FE. But for example, I shoot raw photos in manual mode. They don't save to the SD card; they save to the internal storage, and I can't make them by default save to the SD card. 4K 60 frames per second video also saves to the internal storage and not the SD card. Now I can move them over, but that's not the point, right? Another thing, the base model of the S20 FE, 6 gigs of RAM. I personally haven't ran into any sort of issues with the RAM, but only 6 gigs of RAM. You can't do 8K on the phone, which to be fair, I don't use it, but there's other things like HDR10 Plus. Well, we'll see if I can now. Come on. We'll see if I can now. Let me go to video. Let me go to settings, advanced recording options. Nope, I still can't turn on HDR10 plus video. So that's just something that just can't happen on the S20 FE, which is kind of stupid because this is a very powerful phone and it doesn't make sense that it can't do that, but it's whatever. I don't want to make this too long, but because I want it to match with the clip at least. If you're gonna get this phone, fine. Again, I'm not trying to say don't buy the S21s. It's such a bad deal. Like I said, if you've had a phone for so long and you want a new phone, fine. I totally understand. That is definitely an upgrade, right? But if you're coming from a Note 20 Ultra, you're stupid. If you're coming from even if you're coming from the S20s, I kind of feel you're stupid because it doesn't give you much. They don't give you much. And to me, that's what matters, right? Is that the phones don't give you much. They give you a newer processor. Whoop-de-doo. And to me, that's just not that's not worth it. That really isn't worth trading in your phone that's probably already. If you have a Note 20 Ultra, your phone is still good, right? You get an embedded S Pen, which is something a lot of Note 20 Ultra users, that Note users in particular, really value, right? Is that it comes with an embedded S Pen, and I totally understand that. Um, but to me, it just feels like Samsung is becoming this this Apple, the true Apple clone, the Apple clone that they aspired to back in the S3 days, back when they had a home button. It's like that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like Samsung is actually trying to do anything new, because it's just, oh, look at this spec bump, new processor, and the processor's bringing literally everything that we brought up as new. 4K 60 on all the cameras. The what was it called? The director mode, which phones on on a Snapdragon 765 can do that kind of thing. That's not even something that's complete, that has to do with power. So it's just a lot of stuff that I just feel is not worth it about this phone in particular. Hell, phones like I think the V30 was able to do it, where it was able to record the wide, the front, or the wide, the main, and the front camera all at once. I think the V30 was able to do that. So this isn't something new. It's just that they've been waiting for the processor to have that ability natively, so that they didn't have to code their software around new updates for it. So yeah. Um Again, like I said, if you just want the new shiny, you already got the new shiny. The S20 the S20s are still really good phones. Um if you have a S10, S9, S8, definitely upgrade to this, or go to an S20 if you value an SD card slot. But the days of Samsung being anti-Apple, to me, is just over. And it's very disappointing, because it just doesn't really feel genuine anymore. It it just feels like they're saying it because it gets them points, and that just sucks, man. But yeah, this is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for support. Let me know what you feel about this kind of video in the comment section below. Oh, and obviously let me know what you feel about the S21s below. Have a good one.